Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, ba-dum, ba-bum. Bum, ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Oh, really? You want me to keep bouncing? I have to keep bouncing? Mommy has to bounce. Mommy has to bounce. Mommy has to bounce, 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 huh? Mommy has to bounce. Yes, she does. It will make you happier if mommy bounces. Mommy bounces. Yes, yes, yes. Let's bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Let's bounce. Let's bounce. But let's also make coffee. Let's bounce and make coffee at the same time. Because mommy needs coffee and you need bouncing. That's the whole story. Hey, everybody. Okay, okay. Don't lose your tuck, honey. Don't lose your tuck. Yeah, yeah. Don't lose your tuck. Don't lose your tuck. What's a cup for daddy? This one. And what's a cup for mommy? This one. And what's the cup for baby? None of them, because we don't do cups yet, but you will. Yeah. Okay, we're bouncing. How was everyone's weekend? Yeah, was everyone good this weekend? We hope you had a good weekend despite the fact that we are grumbly. Okay, what is it, my love? What is it, my love? My sweet baby angel. What is it? What is it? What is it? What's going on? What's going on? Why are you all lopsided, baby girl? Can you get right in the middle? Yeah. How many months is your baby now? She's almost 3 months. Not quite, but she will be 3 months. Good morning. Yes. Thank you, Julia. How about you? She's almost 3 months old. Well, I guess really more like exactly 2.5, sort of. I don't know. I don't know. I know that she is 11 weeks, whatever that means. Hi. Hi. Are you 11 weeks? Are you 11 weeks? What does she look like? She looks like me and my husband combined. Yes. If you look at baby pictures of us, she looks like a very even split. Yes, yes, yes. That is true. Yep. Okay. Baby, why do you want to be lopsided today? Can you come over here? Why are you insistent on being over there? She looks like a cartoon Disney princess. That is the truth, actually, Amanda. She's so cute. She is so cute. Yeah. And she's trying to fall asleep. She's trying. Hi. Hi. How's my girl? How's my girl? Auntie Liz is here. You want to say hi? Say hi. Your hair is looking so good. Your hair is looking so good. Let's try to get you in the middle. What are we doing here? Would she walk when she gets older? Well, I really hope so. I mean, I guess not all kids do, but I do hope she will. It looks like she's gonna, yeah. Yeah, it does. It certainly is looking like she's gonna walk when she gets older, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Isabella. I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better now. I hope you're feeling better now. I will tell you, we did a lot yesterday. We went to a baby meetup in the neighborhood, and then we went to a baby wearing meetup. Sorry, I just got a funny text message. We did a lot of things yesterday. I know, right? Yeah, we did a lot of things yesterday, didn't we, sweetheart? Which was very cool for all of us. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you want to go in your bouncer, don't you? Do you want to go in the bouncer, or do you want to stay with mommy? Do you want to go in the bouncer, or do you want to stay with mommy? Which is it? I think you want the bouncer, huh? Okay, okay. Just give mommy 1 second. Okay, okay. Yes. You want down? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, okay, okay. Bouncer it is. Are you sure? This is your last chance. Mommy's gonna put the milks in the fridge, but you can stay with mommy. Oh no, not at all, Susan. How's my baby? Yeah. Yeah. Are you sure you don't want to hang out with mom? Good. Yeah. Okay. 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 Yes, we're bouncing. We're bouncy, bouncy baby. Bouncy, bouncy baby. Bouncy, bouncy baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whee! She hates to see standing still coming. You know? So we make our coffee and we bounce at the same time, huh? Yeah. We sway, and we bounce, and we sway, and we bounce, and we dance, and we bounce, and mommy gets some squats in. Good squats for mommy. No exercise for baby, just mommy. Squat, squat, kaboom, kaboom. Mommy just wants coffee. What do you think? Do you think mommy can have coffee? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Is it too much to ask for a quick recap? No, not at all. What was the last thing that you remember so I can give you the correct recap? That's right. Bounce, 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 bouncy, bouncy, bounce. Bouncy, bouncy baby, bouncy, bouncy baby, bouncy, bouncy baby needs to nap. I didn't start the book at all. Oh, that's okay. So basically, the beginning of this book, they went through, you know, how she's back in her home district and she's figuring it all out. She finds out that when they saw the whole thing, like obviously, as you learned at the end of the last book, the Capitol's really mad at them, or her rather, for the whole berries thing, and they told everyone that Gale is her cousin so that they wouldn't look like fools for believing that she was in love with Peeta. So, oh, thank you, Isabella. So they now everybody is led to believe in all the other districts that Gale is her cousin. Hi. You're getting very sleepy, aren't you? And then one day when she's supposed to be getting ready for the victory tour, President Snow shows up at her house and he's basically like, hey, if you don't convince me that you're actually in love with him, we're gonna, all of you. So good luck with that. And she, you know, starts the victory tour basically. So those are the important points of what happened essentially. All right. I know, right? When President Snow showed up, that was the scariest part. He's gross. We don't like him, obviously. Obviously. You're obviously lying. Sorry, that was the wrong book series, but still funny. President Snow is mean is the understatement of the century, my dear sloth. How was everyone's weekend? It was great. How was yours? It did not snow here, but we did go to that baby wearing meetup. Everyone was very impressed with your wraps, right? Like beyond impressed. They were like, oh my God, those are so nice. I was like, I know, right? They kept asking, like new people kept coming up and being like, where did you get them? I was like, It was very funny. Yeah, you need a nap, huh? You need a nap. My sweet angel needs to sleep, huh? Yeah, you need a sleepy time. Lots of family, so Monday is a relaxing time. That's funny. That's funny, Jen. We have friends coming into town on Wednesday, so I need to clean today and work. And we have Roll for Slime tomorrow. My aunt's birthday party was fantastic, actually. She slept through most of it, which is good. And she got to meet her cousins, which was good. So yeah. Let's, but my friends coming into town will not inhibit book club, just so you guys know, because they're not staying at our house. So it will not change anything for book club or Roll for Slime. They're actually gonna come and hang out during Roll for Slime and hold Little Miss Nugget here while we all roll. So that'll be fun for all of us. We'll get input from the baby on rolling. Okay, okay. Yeah, they're definitely legacy refs. They're so, so beautiful. Everyone was just, you know, I know, right? It's shocking. This. Okay, you want to go in your bouncy, huh? I thought you wanted to stay with mommy, but you want to go to your bouncy. Okay, that's okay. You can go in your bouncer. You can go in your bouncer. Whoops, mommy knocked over our book. That's okay. Book, between book and baby, we would always knock over book first, huh? Okay. So, are you happy you're there? Are you happier in your bouncer? Okay, well that's fine. It was highly offensive. Do you have any tips for making friends? Because I only have one and she's from early childhood. That is a great question, Isabella. Okay, so let's actually talk about this really quick because I think this is really important for you. So the first thing I would suggest when looking to make new friends is to find people with like interests, especially at your age. So think about joining a club at your school. It definitely is a struggle for everyone, Isabella. So whether you have ADHD or not, making new friends is always going to be difficult, especially if you look like I look right now. I'm just kidding. That was a joke, but it's true. My face is falling apart. It looks like it's just disintegrating all over itself. But it is difficult for everyone, Isabella. So what I would suggest is think of the things you really love. Think of like 3 or 4 things that you really, really like, and then see if there is a related club for those things at your school. Even if it's not like, if it's not exactly the same thing, something related is good too. And if there isn't, then we'll go to the next step. It is, but I've never met anyone who makes it. Yeah, it's true. It's difficult for everyone. Victoria's right. So then if you don't have any clubs that are related interests at your school, we should try to find things that you can explore that you might like to find like-minded people at. Like, for example, I know that you're just as progressive as the rest of us are here. So if there's, for example, a gay-straight alliance at your school, you might meet really good friends that way. A lot of times, even if someone's not interested in being a performer, I suggest going to drama classes or drama club, not because I want you to perform. You can even do lighting, you can do sound, you can do that's okay. Your interests are still developing. It's not annoying at all at your age to change interests. That's totally normal. But you might find someone who changes with you, or you might make a friend for now and then they might introduce you to someone else. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's good anyway. You can tell us a couple of them and we can try to help that way. But if you join drama, even if you don't want to be on the stage, you might want to be an usher, you might want to be a stage manager, whatever. Theater kids are really good at helping other people along in what's good for them because they want everyone to have fun. That's like a trademark of people who take theater classes and things like that. So, you know, you might say, hey, I don't want to be on the stage, but can I usher for your show? And then you might find someone to talk to and end up finding out that they have similar interests to you. I met my best friend online because we have similar music. Exactly. Similar music taste is literally a huge one. When I was young, Isabella, when I was your age, the internet was just starting. That's really funny. Yeah, exactly what Ray is saying here. Get in with the theater kids. Get in with the theater kids. I was the shyest kid. You don't believe this. I know no one believes me. But when I started high school, for over a week, I didn't talk to anyone. Oh, gaming is so good for it. Isabella, there's so many people at your school who game, I guarantee you. Find other gamer girls, and I mean, it doesn't have to just be girls, but it's safer, you know, whatever. And chill with them for sure. And let me tell you, there are obviously other girls at your school who like Sabrina Carpenter, so that's gonna be a good one too. You might consider, since you like Sabrina Carpenter, here's another one. So I don't know if you know this, but Sabrina Carpenter was also a theater kid. Look at me with my knowledge. I'm like a good mom, right? This is the good mom knowing what the kids like these days. Sabrina Carpenter was a theater kid before she was a pop star, much like Ariana Grande. So you might consider joining choir or drama and finding other people who liked her before and still like her. Look at that. Look what we just did. That was some cool stuff. My school is different, class are just me and the teacher. Oh, is there a choir at your school at all? Or in your community? My oldest is a theater kid. I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. That's right, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. I'm a rainbow mom. Hi, pretty girl. What do you think? Do you think I'm a cool mom or do you think I'm lame? I hope you think I'm cool. Choir practice is the best. And they have one club, which is after school hangout. I would go anyway, Isabella, just to try it. Honestly, I would give it a go. And you know what I would do, Isabella, you can also, yes, Jillian's right, join a book club at your local library, but check this out. This is one of the ways that I made friends my first week of high school without knowing that it was gonna work. I didn't do this knowing it was good, but it turned out that it was good in the end. Go to your after school hangout club, either wearing a t-shirt of something you like or with a keychain or a patch on your backpack of something that you like, because the other kids will see that and they'll know that you are safe to talk to about that thing. So this is gonna date me, but when not date me like go on a date, but like date me like how old I am. But when I started high school, the Backstreet Boys were a big thing. And I had come from a very small private Christian school, so I did not know how popular the Backstreet Boys really were. I just thought it was something that I really liked. Dummy Dummy Sasha, right? Okay. Yes, get a Sabrina Carpenter shirt for sure. But I had a Nick Carter patch on my backpack when I went to my first time going to public high school, right? And this girl who was sitting behind me in one of my classes leaned over and she said, I have a friend who's a really big Backstreet Boys fan. You should meet her. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had never spoken to anyone the whole day. I didn't even utter words other than to the teachers the whole day. And this girl introduced me to another girl who was a huge Backstreet Boys fan, and we were friends for almost 25 years. You know, we have gone our separate ways at this point for other reasons, but we were friends for a really long time. We went to shows together. We lived together. So, you know, it can do you a lot of good. Yeah, I adore Backstreet Boys too. Her interest, yes. Yeah, no, it's great, Isabella. Wear a Sabrina Carpenter shirt. That will do the trick. I guarantee it. You'll talk to at least one person about it. And sometimes one is all you need, you know? So I hope that helps. Report back to us. That girl who leaned over was a girl's girl. That girl who leaned over was a really interesting person. She was a girl's girl. You know what, Isabella? Don't let that happen. So that is a fear. That's a real fear, and I'm not negating it at all. But sometimes you grow apart as you age, and you're in a different season in life, and you need different people. So I am not here to bash the person that I moved away from, who was my friend for all those years, but she was not in a position to handle the fact that I was going to have a baby. And so my baby was important enough to me to step away from that friendship, and I made that choice. So she didn't, and it's okay. You know what I mean? And it is scary. And at your age, it feels really hard. And I'm not saying at my age it didn't feel hard. I cried many, many nights over it. So don't think you're alone, Isabella. You're not. But it's choices that we have to make. And it happens, and it's okay. But it's also okay to cry about it, sweetheart. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay to be in your feels about it. You're not weird for feeling that way. You're not too sensitive for feeling that way. Don't let anyone tell you that, because it's not true. It's normal, and it's healthy to have those feelings. But it's also okay to grow apart. All of those things are okay. But report back to us after you go to the club, and we'll chat about it. We'll chat about it, huh? You're looking at me like I have no interest in napping. If you feel like a friend to me, even though this book club is full of friends, Isabella, and it's okay to have online friends too. It's one of the best things, you know? And I know that a lot of us here are considerably older than you, sweetheart, but we are
not doing anything that's outside of a safe space. No one here will ever ask you private information. No one here will ever ask you like where you are or whatever, things like that, because we're like safe mom people. If anyone ever asks you those things, run. Or come tell us and we'll take care of it. Like that. Hold on. Ray said, it's also not static. That friend may join another season live. Yes, that's right. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Yeah. All right. So let's do our thing. Let's read, and Isabella will report back to us on her success, because I know she'll be successful. Right, sweetheart? You guys want to hear something funny before we start? So you know how I don't use Secret Baby's name online? I just like use nicknames for her, whatever. Somebody came into my comments and was like, you said her name in your last video. What are you talking about? And I was like, no, I didn't, because I'm really good about it. I never slip up. Secret Husband has slipped up, but I have never slipped up, right? And I was like, I don't think I used her name in my last video. And I went back and I watched, and I called her Sweet Pea, but the captions read it as Sophie. So they all think her name is Sophie now, which is a nice name. Sophie's a lovely name. It's not her name. Her name is not Sophie. But it was funny because I was saying a nickname, which is Sweet Pea, because sometimes that's what I call her. I call her Sweetheart, Sweet Pea, Honey, you know. I also call her Stinky Toot Toots, but that's another story for another day. Do I call you Stinky Toot Toots? I do, but that's not your name. At least not on your birth certificate. It's your name in my heart. Stinky Toot Toots. Because you have Stinky Toot Toots. It's true, she does have Stinky Toot Toots. You do. It's okay though, we all do. Yeah, it's okay. She has 100 names, it's true. Stinky Toot Toots is my favorite. All right, let's read our next chapter. Becca's not in here, but she just heard something hilarious and she's texting like crazy. I do, I love nicknames on babies too. I'm falling away from a friend because I can't deal with, oh, that's a real big reason, Susan. That's a big reason. That's a big reason. Yes. That is difficult. I'm gonna tell you guys one more thing. Secret Husband doesn't know this, but one of the things that I got for her as a surprise for him for like Father's Day for him to see is I got her one of those onesies with all the nicknames we call her on it. So it's got her name and then like all of the iterations of what we call her below. It's very cute. But it doesn't come to the, she's not a fan. No, but see, that's the thing though, Susan. It's like she's made a choice to support that, and that's hard too. Yeah, I got him other Father's Day presents as well, but that was one of them. I think someone should take one for the team and eliminate. You know who thinks the same as you? Oh, hell, you okay? You fine? You sure? Isabella, my husband agrees with you, actually. My husband doesn't understand why no one's done that yet. I don't want to say the words out loud because I know we'll get in trouble here. But what Isabella said is what my husband says every day. He wonders why that hasn't happened yet. And I think it's because maybe on our side we're too passive. You know? Are we too passive? Mommy's too passive. Yeah. Yeah. We all wonder that, Isabella. You're not wrong. So crazy, Avery. So crazy. People have been insane in the comments lately. But anyway, let's not deal with that. Let's read Catching Fire, because that's where we are too kind, Isabella. That's the thing. We're too nice because we want everyone to be happy. Orange Guy is what a lot of us call the person who is currently considered the leader of our formerly illustrious nation. That's the best way I can say it without getting flagged. And people call him the Orange Guy because he does makeup. All because I forgot the L in Pluffle. You guys, wait. Did you guys see that the company that makes Pluffle responded and they said they don't care which way I say it? That was pretty funny. I have to post that today so everyone can see it. The actual company that makes it, they were like, Puffle, Pluffle, whatever. It's all good. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah, it is funny. Well, probably because that video has almost 1 million views. So they were like, well, we should probably... And then they reposted the video to their page. I don't know if you guys saw that. They reposted it. Yeah. I was like, guys, if they cared if I called it Pluffle or Puffle, they wouldn't have reposted it to their page. They think it's funny. Anyway. And no, I was not paid for that video. I bought the Pluffle stuff myself, so, you know. Anyway, let's read chapter 4 and we'll talk about all that later, because that was the vindication that I required for all of those angry people. I needed the vindication from the actual brand. Right? It's okay to be vindicated, sweetheart. We don't like to gloat a lot, but in this case we can gloat. Only in cases like this. Don't gloat regularly. It's not a good look. It wasn't even a good look on mommy. It's probably why I have acne, because I gloated. Ugh, bad look. Okay. No, you know what? I'm gonna correct myself in front of my daughter. That's not true. Having acne or things on your face is not a reflection of your soul. No, we shouldn't perpetuate that. That was bad. Mommy shouldn't have said that. Things that happen on the outside of your body are not a reflection of whether or not you're a good person. What is a reflection of whether or not you're a good person is how you act to other people and how you treat everybody and animals, okay? And the earth. Got it? Okay. Sorry. It's a bad habit from those of us who were raised in the 80s and 90s. We have this terrible, gotta get it out of my head. It's really bad. I do not want to pass that on to her. Bad. Bad, bad. No. Mm-mm. Okay. We're okay. Let's go. Let's read. Oh, it's so warm in here. We slog back to the train in silence. In the hallway outside my door, Hamish gives my shoulder a pat and says, "You could do a lot worse, you know." He heads off to his compartment, taking the smell of wine with him. In my room, I remove my sodden slippers, my wet robe, and pajamas, and there are more in the drawers, but I just crawl between the covers of my bed and my underclothes. In my underclothes, sorry. I stare into the darkness and I think about my conversation with Hamish. Everything he said was true about the Capitol's expectations, my future with PETA, and even his last comment. I mean, like, yeah, of course, I could do a lot worse than PETA. That isn't really the point, though, is it? You want out. You want out right now? Yeah, you're telling me right now, huh? Okay. Is it because you need a nap on mommy? Do we need a nap on mommy? Okay. That's okay. You can have a nap on mommy. Okay. Of course I could do a lot worse than PETA, but that isn't really the point, though, is it? One of the few freedoms that we have in District 12 is to marry who we want or not marry at all. And now, even that has been taken away from me. Ooh. 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 Mommy's listening, don't worry. Oh, you want to bonk your head into mommy's cheek? You're gonna hurt yourself. Yeah, she's chattering to her plant, that's right. I wonder if President Snow will even insist that we have children. If we do, they'll have to face the reaping each year. Wouldn't it be something to see the child of not one, but two victors chosen for the arena? Victor's children have been in the ring before, and it always causes a lot of excitement and generates talk about how the odds are not in that family's favor. But it happens too frequently to be just about odds. Gale's convinced that the Capitol does it on purpose, rigs the drawings to add extra drama. Given all the trouble that I've caused, I've probably guaranteed any child of mine a spot in the games. That's probably true, huh, honey? Do you want this? Yeah. This is softer than mommy's shirt. Yeah, that's softer. I think of Hamish, unmarried, no family, blotting out the world with drink. He could have had his choice of any woman in the district, and he chose solitude. No, not solitude. That sounds too peaceful. More like solitary confinement. Was it because, having been in the arena, he knew that that was better than risking the alternative? I had a taste of the alternative when they called Prim's name on Reaping Day, and I watched her walk to the stage for her death. But as her sister, I could take her place. I could an option that was forbidden to our mother. As her sister, I could take her place, but that was an option forbidden to our mother. My mind searches frantically for a way out. I can't let President Snow condemn me to all of this, even if it means taking my own life. Before that, though, I would try to run away. What would they do if I simply just vanished, disappeared into the woods, and never came out? I could even manage to take everyone I love with me and start a new life, maybe deep in the wild? That was highly unlikely, but not possible. I know, it's terrible, Liz. Just terrible. I shake my head to clear it, but it's not the time to be making wild escape plans. I must try to focus on the victory tour. Too many people's fate depends on giving a good show. Dawn comes before sleep does, and then there's Effie rapping on my door. I pull on whatever clothes are at the top of my door and drag myself down to the dining car. I don't see what difference it makes when I get up, since this is a travel day, but it turns out that after yesterday's makeover, that was just to get me to the train station. Today, I'll be getting worked on from my prep team. Why? It's really too cold for anything to even show, I grumble. Not in District 11, says Effie. District 11, our first stop. I'd rather start in any other district since this was Rue's home, but that's not how the Victory Tour goes. Usually it kicks off in District 12 and then it goes into descending districts in order all the way to 1, followed by the capital. The Victor's district is skipped and saved for last. Since 12 puts on the least fabulous celebration, usually it's just a dinner for the tributes and a victory rally in the square, nobody even looks like they're having any fun, so it's probably best to get us all out of the way as soon as possible. This year, since for the first time since Hamish won, their final stop will be District 12, the capital will spring for the festivities. Yeah, are you okay, sweetheart? You seem like you really need a nap. You do, huh? You really need a nap. Yeah. I try to enjoy food like Hazel said. The kitchen staff clearly wants to please me. They've prepared my favorite, the lamb stew with dried plums and other delicacies. There's orange juice and a pot of steaming hot chocolate waiting for me at the place at mine at the table. So I eat a lot, and the meal's beyond reproach, but I can't say that I'm enjoying it. I'm also annoyed that no one but Effie and I have even shown up. Where is everybody else? I ask. Oh, who knows where Hamish is, says Effie, and I didn't really expect Hamish because he's probably just getting to bed. Cinna was up late working on organizing your garment car. You must have had 100 outfits for you. Your evening clothes are quite exquisite, and Peter's team, well, they're also probably still asleep. Doesn't he need prepping, I ask? No, not in the way that you do. What does that mean? It means that I get to spend the morning have the hair ripped off my body while PETA sleeps in. I hadn't thought about that much, but in the arena, at least some of the boys got to keep their body hair, whereas none of the girls did. Oh, what time is it? Is it 9:08? I can't see the clock. I think it's 9:08, right? We're asleep. I hadn't thought about it much, but in the arena, at least some of the boys got to keep their body hair, whereas none of the girls did. I can remember PETA's now as I bathed him in the stream. It was very blonde in the sunlight, and once the mud and the blood had been washed away, 9:03, oh, even better, perfect. Once the blood had been washed away, only his face remained completely smooth. Not one of the boys grew a beard, and many were old enough to. I wonder what they did to make that stop. If I feel ragged, my prep team seems in worse condition, knocking back coffee and staring at brightly colored little pills. As far as I can tell, they never get up before noon unless there's some sort of national emergency, like my leg hair. I was so happy when it grew back in too, as if it were a sign of things might be returning to normal. I run my finger along the soft, curly down on my legs, and I give myself over to the team. None of them are up to their usual chatter, so I can hear every strand being yanked from its follicles. I have to soak in a tub full of thick, unpleasant-smelling solution, while my face and hair are plastered with creams. 2 more baths follow in other less offensive concoctions. Hey, Cindy, we barely just started. You're good to go. I'm plucked and scoured and massaged and anointed until I'm raw. Flavius tilts up my chin and sighs. Oh, it's a shame that Cinna said no alterations on you. Yes, we really could make you into something special, says Octavia. Well, when she's older, says Venia almost grimly, and then he'll have to let us do it. Do what? Blow up my lips like President Snow, tattoo my breasts, dye my skin magenta and implant gems into it, cut decorative patterns into my face, give me curved talons or cat whiskers? I saw all these things and more on the people in the Capitol. Do they really have no idea how freakish they look to the rest of us? The thought of being left to my prep teen's fashion whims only adds to the misery competing for my attention. My abused body, my lack of sleep, my mandatory marriage, the terror of being unable to satisfy President Snow's demands. By the time I reach lunch, where Effie, Cinna, Portia, Hamish, and PETA have started without me, I'm too weighed down to talk. They're raving about the food and how well they slept on the train. Everyone's all full of excitement about the tour. Well, that is, everyone but Hamish. He's nursing a hangover and picking at a muffin. I'm not really hungry either. Maybe it's because I loaded up on too much rich stuff this morning, or maybe it's because I'm so unhappy. I play around with the bowl of broth, eating only a spoonful or two. I can even look at Peeta. He's my designated future husband, and I know none of this is his fault. People notice, and they're trying to bring me into the conversation, but I just brush them off. At some point, the train stops, and our server reports that it will not just be for a fuel stop. Some part has malfunctioned, and it's going to be replaced. It will require at least an hour. This sends Effie into a state. She pulls out her schedule and begins to work on how the delay will impact every event for the rest of our lives. And finally, I can't stand to listen to her anymore. No one cares, Effie, I snap. And everyone at the table looks at me, even Hamish, who you'd think would be on my side in this matter since Effie drives him nuts. Immediately, it puts me on the defensive. Well, no one does, I say, and I get up and I leave the dining car. The train suddenly seems stifling, and I'm definitely queasy now. I find the exit door and force it open, triggering some sort of alarm, which I just ignore, and I jump to the ground expecting to land in snow. But the air's warm and balmy against my skin. The trees still wear their green leaves. How far south have we gone in just a day? I walk along the tracks, squinting against the bright sunlight, already regretting my words to Effie. She's hardly to blame for my current predicament. I should go back in and apologize. My outburst was the height of bad manners, and manners matter deeply to her. But my feet continue along the track, past the end of the train, leaving it behind. An hour's delay. I can walk at least 20 minutes in one direction and make it back with plenty of time to spare. But instead, after a couple 100 yards, I sink to the ground and I sit there looking into the distance. If I had a bow and arrows, would I just keep going? After a while, I hear the footsteps behind me. It'll be Hamish coming to chew me out. It's not like I don't deserve it, but I still don't want to hear it. I'm not in the mood for a lecture. I warn the clump of weeds by my shoe. All right, I'll try to keep it brief. Peeta takes a seat beside me. Oh, I thought you were Hamish, I say. No, he's still working on that muffin. I watch as Peeta positions his artificial leg. Bad day, huh? It's nothing, I say. And he takes a deep breath. Look, Katniss, I've been wanting to talk to you about the way that I acted on the train. I mean, like, the last train, the one that brought us home. I knew that you had something with Gale. I was jealous of him before I even officially met you, and it wasn't fair to hold you to anything that happened in the games. I'm sorry. His apology takes me by surprise. Is it true that Peeta froze me out after I confessed my love for him during the games, and that was sort of something of an act? But I don't hold that... Sorry, it's true that he froze me out when I confessed that my love for him was something of an act. But I don't hold that against him. In the arena, I'd played the romantic angle for all it was worth, and there had been times when I didn't honestly know how I felt about him. I still don't, really. I'm sorry too, I say. Not sure what for exactly. Maybe it's because there's a real chance that I'm about to destroy him. There's nothing for you to be sorry about. You were just keeping us alive, but I don't want us to go on like this, ignoring each other out in real life and falling into the snow every time there's a camera around us. So I thought if maybe I stopped being so, wounded, we could just take a shot at being real friends, he says. And all my friends are probably going to end up dead, but refusing Peeta wouldn't keep him safe either. Okay, I say. And his offer does make me feel better, less duplicitous somehow. But it would be nice if he had come to me with this earlier, before I knew that President Snow had other plans. Just being friends was not an option for us anymore. But either way, I'm really glad we're on speaking terms again. All right, so what's wrong? He asks, and I can't tell him, so I pick at the clump of weeds. All right, let's start with something more basic. Isn't it strange that I know you'd risk your life to save mine, but I don't know what your favorite color is? He says, and a smile creeps onto my lips. It's green. What's yours? Orange, he says. Orange? Like Effie's hair, I say. Well, like a bit more muted orange, he says. More like a sunset. Sunset. I can see it immediately. The rim of the descending sun, the sky streaked with soft shades of orange. It's beautiful, and I remember the tiger lily cookie, and now that Peeta's talking to me again, it's all I can do not to recount the whole story about President Snow. But I know Hamish wouldn't want me to, so I stick to small talk. Everyone's always raving about your painting, and I feel bad that I haven't seen any of them yet, I say. Well, I've got a whole train car full of them. He rises and offers me his hand. Come on. It's good to feel his fingers entwined with mine again, not for show, but in actual friendship. We walk back to the train hand in hand, and at the door I remember, I've got to apologize to Effie first. All right, well, don't be afraid to lay it on thick with that one, Peeta tells me. And so when we go back to the dining car where the others are still at lunch, I give Effie an apology that that I think is overkill, but in her mind, probably just barely manages to compensate for my breach in etiquette. To her credit, Effie accepts it graciously. She says it's clear that I'm under a lot of pressure, and her comments about the necessity of someone attending to the schedule only last about 5 minutes. And really, I got off easy. When Effie finishes, Peeta leads me down a few cars to see his paintings. I don't know what I expected. Maybe larger versions of the flower cookies, maybe, but this is something entirely different. Peeta has painted the games. Some you wouldn't get right away if you hadn't been with him in the arena yourself. Water dripping through the cracks in our cave, the dry pond bed, a pair of hands, they're his own, digging for roots. Others, any other viewer would recognize the golden horn called the cornucopia, Clove arranging the knives inside her jacket. One of the mutts, unmistakably blonde and green-eyed, meant to be Glimmer, was snarling as it makes its way towards us. And then me. I'm everywhere, high up in a tree, beating a shirt against the stones in the stream, lying unconscious in a pool of blood. And then there's one I can't take. Perhaps this is how I looked when my fever was high, emerging from the silver-gray mist that matches my eyes exactly. What do you think? He asks. I hate them, I say, and I can almost smell the blood, the dirt, the unnatural breath of the mutts. All I do is go around trying to forget the arena, and you brought it back to life. How do you remember these things so clearly? I see them every night, he says. I know what he means. It's nightmares, which was no stranger to me before the games, but they now plague me whenever I go to sleep. The old standby, the one of my father being blown to bits in the mine, that one's rare now. Instead, I relive versions of what happened in the arena. My worthless attempts to save Rue, Peeta bleeding to death, Glimmer's bloated body disintegrating in my hands, Kato's horrific end with the mutations. These are the more frequent visions now. Yeah, me too. Does it help you? To paint them out, I mean? I don't know. I think I'm a little less afraid of going to sleep at night, or at least I tell myself I am, he says. But the nightmares haven't gone anywhere. Maybe they won't. Hamish's haven't. Hamish doesn't say so, but I'm sure by the way that he acts, he doesn't like to sleep in the dark. No, but for me it's better to wake up to a paintbrush than a knife in my hand, Peeta says. So you really hate the paintings? Yeah, but I mean, they're extraordinary. Really, I say. And they are, but I don't want to look at them anymore. Do you want to see my talent? Cinna did a great job on it. Peeta laughs. Later. The train lurches forward, and I can see the land moving past us through the window. Come on, we're almost to District 11. Let's go take a look at it. We go down to the last car on the train, and there are chairs and couches to sit on, but it's wonderful that the back windows retract into the ceiling, so looks like you're riding outside in the fresh air, and you can see a wide sweep of landscape, huge open fields with herds of dairy cattle grazing in them. So unlike our own heavily wooded home, we slow slightly, and I think that we might be coming in for another stop. And when a fence rises up before us, towering at least 35 feet in the air and topped with wicked coils of barbed wire, it makes ours back in District 12 look childish. My eyes quickly inspect the base, which is lined with enormous metal plates. There would be no burrowing under those, no escaping to hunt. And then I see the watchtowers placed evenly apart, manned with armed guards, so out of place among the fields of wildflowers that surround them. Well, that's something different, says Peeta. Rue didn't give me the impression that the rules in District 11 were harshly enforced, but I never imagined something like this. Now, the crops begin, stretched out as far as the eye can see. Men, women, and children are all wearing straw hats to keep the sun off their straightened faces, and they turn our way. They take a moment to stretch their backs as they watch our train go by. I can see the orchards in the distance, and I wonder if that's where Rue would have worked, collecting the fruit from the slimmest branches to the tops of the trees. The small communities of shacks are there, and by comparison, the houses in the seam are upscale. Let me reread that because that was a mess. Small communities of shacks, by comparison, the houses in the seam are upscale, spring up here and there, and they're all deserted. Every hand must be needed for the harvest. And on it goes, and I can't believe the size of District 11. How many people do you think live here? Peeta asks, and I shake my head. In school, they refer to it as the large district, that's all. No actual figures on the population. But those kids that we see on camera waiting for the reaping each year, they can't be but a sampling of the ones who actually live here. What do? Do they have like a preliminary drawing and then pick the winners ahead of time and make sure that they're in the crowd? How exactly did Rue end up on that stage with nothing but the wind offering to take her place? I begin to weary of yeah, that's what it says. Okay. I begin to weary of the vastness, the endlessness of this place. When Effie comes to tell us to dress, I don't object. I go to my compartment and I let the prep team do my hair and my makeup. Cinna comes in with a pretty orange frock patterned with autumn leaves, and I think about how much Peta will like this color. Effie gets Peta and me together and goes through the day's program one last time. In some districts, the victors ride through the city with the residents cheering, but in 11, maybe because there's not much of a city to begin with, things begin to spread out. Or maybe it's because they don't want to waste so many people while the harvest is going on. The public appearance is confined to the square. It takes place just before their Justice Building, which is a huge marble structure. Once it must have been a thing of beauty, but time has taken its toll. Even on television, you can see the ivy overtaking the crumbling facade and the sagging of the roof. The square itself is ringed with a run-down storefront, most of which are abandoned. Wherever the well-to-do live in District 11, it's definitely not here. Our entire public performance will be staged outside on what Effie refers to as the veranda, the tiled expanse between the front doors and the stairs that's shaded by a roof and supported by columns. Peta and I will be introduced to the mayor of District 11, and they'll read a speech in our honor and will respond with scripted thank yous provided by the Capitol. If a victor had any special allies among the dead tributes, it's considered good form to add a few personal comments as well. I should say something about Rue, and then Thresh too, but really, every time I tried to write something at home, it ended up a blank piece of paper staring at me in the face. It's hard for me to talk about them without getting emotional. Fortunately, Peta has a little something worked up, and with some slight alterations, it can probably count for both of us. At the end of the ceremony, we'll be presented with some sort of plaque, and then we can withdraw to the Justice Building, where a special dinner will be served. As the train is pulling into District 11's station, Cinna pulls out the finishing touches on my outfit, switching my orange hairband for a metallic gold one and securing the Mockingjay pin that I wore into the arena to my dress. There's no welcoming committee on the platform, just a squad of 8 peacekeepers who direct us to the back of an armored truck. Effie sniffs as the door clanks closed behind us. "Really? You would think we were criminals with this," she says. "Not all of us, Effie. Just me, I think." And the truck lets us out at the back of the Justice Building, and we're hurried inside. I can smell an excellent meal being prepared, but it doesn't block out the odors of mildew and rot. They've left us no time to look around, and as we make a beeline for the front entrance, I hear the anthem beginning outside in the square, and someone clips a microphone onto me, and Peta takes my left hand. The mayor's introducing us as the massive doors open with a groan. "All right, big smiles," says Effie, and she gives us a nudge. Our feet start moving forward. This is it. This is where I have to convince everybody how in love with Peta I am. The solemn ceremony is pretty tightly mapped out, so I'm not sure how to do it. It's not a lot of time for kissing. Maybe I can work one in. There's a loud applause and none of the other responses we got in the Capitol. There's cheers and whoops and whistles. We walk along the shaded veranda until the roof runs out, and then we're standing at the top of a big flight of marble stairs in the glaring sun. And as my eyes adjust, I see the buildings on the top of the square have been hung with banners that help cover up their neglected state. It's packed with people, but again, it's just a fraction of the people who live here. And as usual, a special platform has been constructed at the bottom of the stage for the families of the dead tributes. On Thresh's side, there's only an old woman with a hunched back and a tall, muscular girl I'm guessing is his sister. On Rue's side, I'm not prepared for Rue's family. Her parents, whose faces are still fresh with sorrow, her 5 younger siblings who all resemble her so closely. Their slight builds, their luminous brown eyes, they form a flock of small, dark birds. The applause dies out, and the mayor gives a speech in our honor, and 2 little girls come up with tremendous bouquets of flowers. Peta does his part in the scripted reply, and then I find my lips moving to conclude it. Unfortunately, my mother and Prim have drilled this into me so that I could do it in my sleep. Peta has his personal comments written on a card, but he doesn't pull it out. Instead, he speaks in his simple, winning style about Thresh and Rue making it to the final 8, and about how they both kept me alive, thereby keeping him alive, and about how this is a debt that we can never repay. And then he hesitates before adding something that isn't written on the card. Maybe it's because he thought Effie might make him remove it. It can in no way replace your losses, but as a token of our thanks, we would like for each of the tribute's families from District 11 to receive 1 month of our winnings every year for the duration of our lives. The crowd can't help but respond with gasps and murmurs. There's no precedent for what PETA has just done. I don't even know if this is legal. He probably doesn't even know either, so he didn't ask in any case. As for the families, they just stare at us in shock. Their lives were changed forever when Thresh and Rue were lost, but this gift will change them again. A month of tribute winnings can easily provide for a family for a year. As long as we live, they will not hunger. Whew. Whew. That's a hard one. I look at PETA and he gives me a sad smile and I hear Hamish's voice. You could do a lot worse. And at this moment, it's impossible to imagine how I could do any better than him. The gift, it's perfect. So when I rise up on tiptoe to kiss him, it doesn't seem forced at all. The mayor steps forward and presents us each with a plaque that's so large, I have to put down my bouquet to hold it. The ceremony's about to end when I notice one of Rue's sisters is staring at me. I forgot about it too, Heather. I totally forgot about it. She must have been about 9 years old and is almost an exact replica of Rue, down to the way that she stands with her arms slightly extended. Despite the good news about the winnings, she's not happy. In fact, her look is reproachful. Is it because I didn't save Rue? No, it's because I still haven't thanked her, I think. A wave of shame rushes through me. This girl is right. How can I stand here passive and mute, leaving all the words to PETA? If she had won, Rue would never have let my death go unsung. So I remember how I took care in the arena to cover her body with flowers to make sure her loss didn't go unnoticed, but that gesture will mean nothing if I don't support it now. Wait! I stumble forward, pressing the plaque to my chest. My allotted time for speaking has come and gone, but I must say something. I owe too much, and even if I had pledged all my winning to the families, it would not excuse my silence today. Wait, please! I don't know how to start, but once I do, the words rush from my lips as if they've been forming in the back of my mind for a long time. I want to give my thanks to the tributes of District 11, I say, and I look at the pair of women on Thresh's side. I only ever just spoke to Thresh one time, just long enough for him to spare my life. I didn't know him, but I will always respect him for his power, for his refusal to play the games on anyone's terms but his own. The careers wanted him to team up with them from the beginning, but he wouldn't do it, and I respect him for that. And for the first time, the hunched old woman, maybe she's Thresh's grandmother, raises her head, and there's a trace of a smile playing on her lips. The crowd has fallen silent now, so silent that I wonder how they manage it. They must all be holding their breath, and I turn to Rue's family. But I feel as if I did know Rue, and she will always be with me. Everything beautiful brings her to mind. I see her in the yellow flowers that grow in the meadow by my house. I see her in the mocking jays that sing in the trees, but most of all, I see her in my sister Prim. My voice is undependable, and I'm almost finished. Thank you for your children. I raise my chin to address the crowd, and thank you all for the bread. I stand there feeling broken and small, thousands of eyes trained on me. There's a long pause, and then from somewhere in the crowd, someone whistles Rue's 4-note mockingjay tune, the one that signaled the end of the workday in the orchards, the one that meant safety in the arena. And by the end of the tune, I have found the whistler, a wizened old man in a faded red shirt and overalls, and his eyes meet mine. What happened next is not an accident. It's too well executed to be spontaneous because it happens in complete unison. Every person in the crowd presses 3 middle fingers of their left hand against their lips and extends them to me. It's our sign from District 12. It's the last goodbye that I gave Rue in the arena. If I hadn't spoken to President Snow, this gesture might move me to tears, but with the recent orders to calm the district fresh in my ears, this fills me with dread. What will he think of this very public salute to the girl who defied the Capitol? The full impact of what I've done hits me. It was not intentional. I only meant to express my thanks, but I've elicited something dangerous from them, an act of dissent from the people of District 11. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'm supposed to be diffusing. I try to think of something to say to undermine what had just happened to negate it, but all I can hear is the slight burst of static indicating that my microphone has been cut off and the mayor has taken over. PETA and I acknowledge a final round of applause. He leads me back toward the doors, and I'm unaware of anything that has gone wrong. Sorry, PETA is unaware of anything that has gone wrong. I feel funny, and I have to stop for a moment. Little bits of bright sunshine are dancing before my eyes. Hey, are you all right? PETA asks. I'm just dizzy. The sun was so bright, I say, and I see his bouquet. I forgot my flowers, I mumble. That's okay, I'll get them, he says. No, I can, I answer. We would be safe just inside the Justice Building by now if I hadn't stopped, if I hadn't left my flowers, but instead, the deep shade of the veranda, from there we see all of it. A pair of peacekeepers dragging the old man who whistled to the top of the steps, forcing him to his knees before the crowd and pulling a bullet through his head. Ooh. I forgot this entire chapter, you guys. I literally forgot the whole chapter. Ooh. Oh my. Yes. That is way harsh. That is way harsh. It's really sad. It's really sad. But I will say, hey, you're okay. You're okay. Hey. It is scary how real it feels, but what I wanted to say about the old man, wait, is that true, Isabella? Katy Perry went to space? Are you being funny? What? I am obviously out of touch with reality because I thought you were being funny, Isabella. I thought you were making a joke. I mean, I don't know how anyone could be, Brittany. The Blue Origin passenger flight. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know that was a thing, you guys. I am obviously out of touch. It was an all-woman trip, so it's a big deal. That is a big deal. No, it's very cool. I just, oh, well, I don't like that part, Roxy. So what I was going to say about this chapter, is, you know, it is obviously heartbreaking and gut-wrenching to see what happens to the old man who was obviously standing up for the revolution and for his district. But it is, I think that there's something to be said for someone who is at the end tail of their life and recognizes that a fight is worthwhile even if it means their end. You know what I mean? There's something to be said for that. Like, it was obviously calculated that they all responded together and that the person who started it wasn't a young person. You know what I mean? So like, I hate it and I'm sad for him, but at the same time, it makes me respect someone like that for like saying like, hey, I'm gonna do this, you know, whatever. I don't know. I have a lot of respect for it, I guess is what I'm saying. A lot of respect. Resistance in all forms, that's right. In all forms. Yeah, it's honorable and sad. Yeah, it is. You know, it's so hard. I know we've talked about all of the like protests and everything recently and how I chose not to go, even though like before the baby I used to go to all of them. But I chose not to go because she relies on me for her sustenance. And my husband, he also was like, we should really be going to these things, like, and everything. And I was like, yeah, we just can't, you know what I mean? Because, the baby, you know, like it's something that we would have done, and it just feels so scary now that we have her, you know? So anyway, it's not right or wrong, I guess, to make that choice. It's a choice we have to make. You're going to one this weekend? Yeah, I would have been going as well. I just, you know, I can't risk. Yeah. exactly. Your brother in the hospital. It's the same kind of thing. You can't put yourself in danger when someone's relying on you. You know, so that's the hard thing about that kind of stuff. But oh well. For the moment, Cindy. But when she's a big girl, we'll all be going together, huh? When I lived in New York, I used to take the kids that I nannied. They can be, Isabella, here. It depends. Not all of them are, but like especially in big cities, they can get very unsafe, you know, for the moment. Yeah, it's not everywhere. Sometimes they're. So here's the thing, Isabella. I think I may have expressed that poorly. The people who are all going together, like all of us, are very peaceful. Exactly, Jen, and I have to do that for now. But sometimes, depending on the way that they play out, people from the other side can be unpredictable. And that is the dangerous part, right? So it's not that the people who are protesting are dangerous, it's that people who don't like the people who are protesting are unpredictable. And that's the scary part. So, yeah. Yes, Portland is a very tricky place. Portland might even be scarier than New York City was, because I've been to Portland in some crazy times and it gets a little scary in Portland. So yeah, you gotta be safe, you know. AJ from the Backstreet Boys had his daughters at the protest. Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say was when I lived in New York City in 2020 and there were all the George Floyd marches and protests. The kids that I used to nanny, I wasn't nannying them anymore because they'd grown out of needing a nanny. Their parents said that as long as they stayed and held my hand, they could go as well. And so I took them even though they were preteens. It's totally amazing, and you should do it. You should, you know, as long as they're old enough to walk and run. That's the thing, right? You know what I mean? And you know, yeah, exactly. Peaceful because of who showed up. That's right. It's kind of scary to say that, like, you're safer at the ones with all the celebrities at them, you know? I know it's nasty to even think that, but like, they're not gonna let anything happen to big name people, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, it depends on how you look at it. But when it's just us peons on the streets of New York, you know, it gets a little dicey. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I have a lot of work to do today. We have obviously book club tomorrow, and then we have Roll for Slime tomorrow. I will be posting that agenda today, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's the whole kit and caboodle. Sometimes even the bigger names get into it at the events. Yeah, I know, she's growing so fast. Isn't that crazy? Yes, Roll for Slime is tomorrow, so that will be fun. And is there slime making today? Probably not, Roxy, only because my husband has been having late meetings on Monday, so there's no one to watch the baby while I do it. But if he gets out of the meetings early, I will then do it, because I do have to make bases today for tomorrow's Roll for Slime. Whether I do it on live or not, I have to do it. So it's got to get done. I don't have any putty. I don't have a lot of clear left, and I do have butter base. So I'll be making it one way or another. Yeah, no, I totally understand, Roxy. She has amazing eyelashes. Yeah, I know, right? She has crazy eyelashes. It's you. They're talking to you. Say thank you. That didn't sound like a thank you. That didn't sound like a thank you. We're waking up on the wrong side of the mommy. Yeah, okay. We'll go eat. Should we go eat? You could keep napping. Thank you, Isabella. I appreciate that. That's very kind. But Isabella, report back to us about what happens, you know, with your friend making gesture. I know it won't be immediate, but over time. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I will try to see you later, but we'll see what happens. Oh, she's hungry. Okay, we'll see you later, guys.